Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Let's take a quick look here at Cardano. I also appreciate, thank you so much again for your patience this past weekend. Took a little break there, went to San Diego with the family, wife and son. He's what, 3.5 months old? So much fun. These guys are awesome. So kudos on our just quickly touching this, kudos on our profit here as well. We got a nice Solana short at 32%, and then of course an AVAX short at 24%. So not really considering too many longs at this point. It makes very little sense to do so. We're on a descending trend, in case you guys didn't notice that, and it doesn't mean you just short your shirt off, but there's a lot of take profit targets to be had here in this market. Okay, and most of those are to the downside for the moment until we break our short-term descending trend. Okay, so if anybody just got offended by the fact that I'm going to tell you that I'm expecting the price of Cardano to go down a little bit, you probably shouldn't be trading. It's a simple way to understand it. Moonboy or not, it's just ridiculous to attach yourself to the bias that the coin's going to go up because you feel emotional about it. Doesn't belong in trading, folks. Okay, so let's take a quick look here. Cardano, 80 cents is that local area of resistance based on liquidation. Keep in mind, 80 cents is probably a pretty consistent number. It's a solid round number too, more of a psychological number. So oftentimes you'll see 80, 90 cents, a dollar, etc. Those numbers are specific in trading, and a lot of times you'll see support and resistance. Anyways, the whole point of this is there's a lot of liquidation that could occur at 80 cents if that price were to come up there. So shorts could have a bad day if that happens. Now, the inverse could also apply too, right? We come down to about 70, 69 cents. There's some longs that'll get liquidated too. So overall, outside this 64-cent accumulation, there's not a whole heck of a lot here telling us that we're going to go either up or down based on liquidation. What does tell us here is that the fact of the matter is we have a lot more shorts than longs in the market right now. Now this is kind of a newer number. It's jumping up and down, implying that shorts keep getting squeezed out, but longs keep failing overall. So my whole point of mentioning this is that we got $200 million in liquidation for shorts that is higher than longs. It implies we have more shorts in the market right now. What do you do when that happens? Do you take a long against the grain and try to be a superhero just so you can post on social media how amazing you are because you took a high risk trade? That's not how it works. That's not how you're supposed to do it. That's how a lot of people do it. That's how other social media influencers succeed. Unfortunately, they get most of the views when I don't, but that's a conversation for another day. The whole point of me saying this is that there's more things kind of identifying further downside makes more sense. It's more practical. So you may just want to wait for a better entry in a long position or consider a short, depending on the ranges. We're going to look at that here next, but open interest, tremendous amount of open interest above the price, very little below. This implies exit liquidity at 76, 78, 80, 84 cents roughly. There's a lot of potential for the price to go up, but those are going to be working as resistances against us. So just note that. Now, from a macro perspective here, like if we kind of just take a look at candle wicks alone, we're in an ascending trend right now. Okay, so this is still a very good sign. I'm not hating on this coin. I'm just telling you though, from a macro perspective, overall, if you zoom out even further, we're establishing lower highs still in that regard. But our short-term transition, so to speak, to this bullish type of convergence is giving us indication that we're going to go up or go higher if we hold this support at about 73 cents or more. Now that's that point of control here. So if you kind of zoom in, you can see we've seen the most amount of volume at this 73 cent mark here. So in this range, we can kind of see that there's a lot of support at or below the current price point. And that's a good sign. Okay, we got a little bit of a fair value gap below us too. We're diverging on the MACD and stochastic, and we're losing 50 on the RSI. These are all signs I look for when I'm considering a short, just so you understand. Now, do I think there's enough profit here to be had? It's hard to say specifically. Let's look at some key levels here on the 4-hour and identify if we do end up losing this ascending trend, where are we going to go next? Well, first of all, the logical pivot point is now. So if we don't crap or get off the pot, you've probably heard that term before, then we're probably going to go lower. Because once more, the previous high should work as a new low. If we lose that, you're going to be looking for a bearish back test and then further downside. That's when you typically want to consider a short. Between now and then, I would say the best trade is no trade. I'm saying that a lot today, just based on the simple sentiment that Bitcoin's kind of in a weird place, and a lot of altcoins are still pulling back, concurrent with Bitcoin dominance going up. So those are not like favorable signs. Anyways, look at the 4-hour time frame. We're under 50 on the RSI. MACD's divergence, stochastic swinging down. We have a little bit of money flow index increasing, so that's slightly positive. We got a little bit more volume flowing into this coin. That's still not a great sign. So if you're hell bent on taking a trade with this coin, Sure, taking a long right now could make sense if Bitcoin runs to 110,000. If Bitcoin continues to pull back as it kind of looks like it wants to, I think there's a solid chance we pull back too here with this coin. So again, I'm going to recommend not taking a trade right now just because it just seems like a pretty bad call. But once more, we're above our point of control. We're right there at that support range. Local high test is a new low. These are standard pivot points where the price should go higher. So short-term perspective, we're probably reaching our tentative bottom, but the overall sentiment, I still think it's not worth taking a long. If I were to consider a long, I'd much rather like a 65 to 68 cent entry when we retest this local area here, this local range, where we had a lot more support previously. For that, between now and then, it's just, I think you get the point. No need to beat a dead horse, as they say, right? So hopefully this makes sense. I described this correctly. Thanks again so much for being an awesome, amazing part of my life. Before I forget, I'm sorry, I should have opened with this. Make sure you check out Bitunix too, folks. If you're part of my community, use the link down below to register for this or just to be eligible. We got like a Tesla and Rolex, a lot of options here available for you just based on trading volume, which is normal stuff that happens when you trade on an exchange. So no KYC or VPN required. Check them out. They're fantastic. They've been a good exchange for us for almost 2 years now. So thank you again. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care out there.